Alright, in this lecture, we're going to be going over how to create still life drawings from life. Now, drawing from life is extremely important, and we've already been over this, but now I want to dedicate a whole section to drawing from life. Now, why is drawing from life so important? Well, drawing from life is really important because all of your artwork is going to be based off of real life. Whether you're drawing artwork that are objects from everyday life, or you're creating your own worlds in fantasy worlds, you're still going to need to know how real life works. And the thing is, everything cannot be proved and shown by using math, formulas, and rules. Sometimes you just have to actually look at objects and draw them exactly the way you see them until you understand how they work. And then you can become a great artist. So it's very important to draw a lot of objects from real life that have really good lighting on them, so you can understand how lighting and how perspective and values and contrast and shapes work. It's the best way to learn. So let's go ahead and get started with the basics of drawing from life. So the first thing that you need to know about drawing from life is you're trying to copy and mimic exactly what you see. Now, that's not to say that you can't make any small changes to make it look better, but for the most part, you want to try to copy the exact shape, the exact value of your object. So the first thing we're going to go over is how do you take a measurement of your object? Well, the way you do this is by taking your pencil and you're going to hold it in front of your object. Okay, so we're going to hold this to about here. And then what you want to do is you want to put your finger and mark where the end of your object is. So now you have that measurement of your object. You want to make sure that your arm is completely and fully extended so that every time you take this measurement, it's the same exact distance so you get the same proportions. If you don't, if I move this closer, well, now it changes, and so I'd have to move my thumb to there. And so if I keep going back and forth and trying to take measurements of this fork, but from different distances away from my eyes, then that's going to mess up my measurements. You want to make sure that every time that you have your arm extended all the way out, so it's the same every time. Once you get that measurement, then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and take this measurement on your pencil and you can lay it down on your paper. And then using a second pencil, you can go ahead and mark from one end to the other. And now you know the distance for that object. Now, depending on how close the object is, that's going to determine how big your object will appear on your paper. So right now, it would be pretty small. But if I were to get closer to my object, you'll see that it becomes a lot bigger. I mean, I can make it as big as my pencil, and if I bring it all the way towards it, you'll see that my pencil isn't even big enough to capture the whole fork. So that's also a really important thing, is how close is your object? The closer it is, the larger it'll be on your paper. The further away it is, the smaller it's going to be. So if I bring my pencil all the way up to here, my fork is very small. So now if I bring this back, you'll see my fork has a very short distance now if I were to mark that on my paper. So you're going to take some basic measurements when you're drawing from still life. You're probably going to take the width of your object, and then you're also going to take the height of your object. So I would take the height of my object, just like so, and I'd want to take the tallest part of my object, which is this part of the fork. So once you've taken your measurements of your object, you're going to